This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, discounted prices, miniaturemarket.com.
Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here. Today, it's all about the almighty dollar. We're trying to make it rain because it's corporate America. We're going to be trying to run for the presidency of the White House and be able to have some powerful privileges, make some laws. Today, we're talking about corporate America, the Gilded edition from Nothing Sacred Games. This is a 3 to 6 player game. The box says 60 minutes in this new version. It's closer to 90, we'll talk about that later. Let me show you how it's played, and I'll see you on the other side. In corporate America, you're trying to start businesses, which will generate monies based upon what the consumers want, and then you'll be running for president, creating legislation, solving different protests, voting on the president, and doing this a few times throughout the course of the game. Now, the one who has the most money at the end is the winner because, hey, it is corporate America. Just to show you the money, everyone starts with $40, but just to show you the different denominations of bills. And these are cards, and on the back side, they all look the same so that you can keep your money secret throughout the game. Now the game is going to move through these different phases using this Washington Monument, Wall Street, Main Street, Campaign Trail, Bidding for President, Capitol Hill, and you'll keep doing this. So you start on the Wall Street phase where you'll start businesses. Now each of you start with 7 businesses, but you're going to start 4 of those 7, and you're going to spend the cost here. And to the right of that, it shows you how much you might get when consumers consume different types of the economy. For example, we look at peddlers of caffeine, coffee or coffee for cheap if you have wood or sheep. Now these actually have icons and cool logos where the original edition did not have those. And so what this says is that anytime entertainment or food is consumed in the game by the consumers, it's going to make this much money. Manscaped gardeners, making your mansion look good, and gardening. And this will pay out 6 anytime luxury or home is consumed. But some of these have laws that might do bad things to them. So it's susceptible to labor laws, and it's red showing you that, hey, when labor laws come up, this business is going to be susceptible to those. Blackout motel, memories to last minutes, regrets to last a lifetime. It does it anytime it gets consumed, anytime home or sin is consumed. And then we have poo power, plutonium in one end, waste out the other. It'll double your money anytime energy is consumed. This one looks great, but it only happens when energy consumes, where some of these make a lesser return, but they can happen more often, so there's that balance there. Now once everyone started their businesses, we go to Main Street. Now the first player is the president. They start the turn, and this is randomly decided at the beginning. And this player is going to take a consumer card and will decide whether or not that gets consumed. Now the first card that comes up is home. So anybody that had a business that had home, if this was the card that stays for this specific card, will get a payout. So what happens is now that this is out, everyone kind of looks at who would be making money. Well, I would be making $6. Maybe somebody else is making 8. Maybe somebody else is making no money. Maybe the player whose turn it is, who put this out there, doesn't have home. Now the first card you bring out is free. However, the second card you bring out is going to cost this player $4. Well, let's say this player does not have home, and they don't really want to spend the $4, so they'll ask everybody else that doesn't have home, and they'll say, hey, who wants to work with me here? Can you help me spend it? Help me pay for this. And you're trying to gather and negotiate and take money from other people in order to flip up another card, which hopefully will bring something that benefits you. In this case, now it's food. So now the player whose turn it is can still decide which one of the cards that have been flipped do they want to be consumed. Well, maybe this card also is not good. The third card is going to cost an additional $6. And you know what? They can't get a lot of people to spend enough money, so they end up spending a lot of it themselves. They flip over a third card, and they go, oh, wow, there's a protest. Wow, so when different protests come up, they go up to a different side of the board. We'll talk about these later, and that's replaced by another consumer card, finance. Well, let's say, you know what, the player's done. They can't get anybody else to kind of go in on a deal with them to change it from finance. In fact, maybe the player whose turn it is happy with finance, so they choose it. These cards get discarded, and finance gets put on the board to show it was selected. Now once it is selected, it goes into one of these slots. You'll notice all of these slots on the board in the top left have blue, and that's just to show you the blue consumer cards go there. So once this goes there, everybody who has finance will get paid. Now let's say this one player actually had businesses, more than one, that had finance. First of all, they're going to get 6 and 4, so $10. Plus they have a synergy bonus. They have 2 businesses with the same, they'll get an extra 2. So there's bonuses to having a lot of the same businesses, and you'll make a lot of money when those score, but it's harder to get them to score once people know that and they'll work against you actively. Now once all these are filled, we would then move to the campaign trail. These had all been paid out. Now keep in mind, look at finance had come up twice this round. By the way, for each of these being placed, it goes clockwise to the next player. So each player is going to get it at least 1 or 2 times around to try to influence, be the one that's trying to make the deals. And so once this finishes, now there's only 4 of each card in this whole deck. So once 2 finances come out in the first round, then people might say, you know what, finance isn't going to be worth as much going forward because I know only 2 more cards can come out. Where businesses that haven't come out yet, maybe those are going to be the ones I want to start next round. Then we're going to move to the campaign trail where we fill these 6 red slots with the red cards, which are legislations. Then in the campaign trail, each player gets to talk about what they would do, which laws would they put in say, which ones would they do if they became president. So you look at some of these. Now we talked about that labor business earlier. Now if this gets in there, players will pay $8 for each labor business they own if this law gets put in. So that's bad. So this player is obviously going to not want to vote for anybody who says they're going to put this in. But of course, you don't have to tell the truth. Hey, this is corporate America and politics. So each player would go through and say which ones these are. Now, some of these will satisfy protests. This would do a conservative. This would do any protest. This would do Christian and conservative, liberal or anti-corporate. And as you saw, as the consumers consume, different protests would come out. Like this one needs Christian support. This one needs conservative support. And the president will have to get rid of at least 2 protests when they become president. Which means this one card can actually satisfy both of them, and then the president can do the other 2 cards of what they want, or they could do this one, and they gotta suffice 2 of those protests, and that's part of what the presidents are saying they're gonna do. Then we move to a bid round where each player is going to put money that they want in front of any person that they want to be president. They put it face down, they can put it in front of themselves or other people, and then we go through a round. If you pass, you're out. Then once everyone's done that, we do through one more round of everyone doing that. Then everyone flips over the money that's in front of them that people gave for their campaign. Whoever has the most money becomes the new president. Now that money given does not go to them, it goes to the supply, but that player will now be president. And the first thing they got to do is invoke some different laws. Now, 2 new legislations come up after they become president. Now, they were going to do 3 of the cards. They told people what they were going to do, and they have to keep their promises, but 2 new cards came up, which might benefit them better. They might backstab everyone that had given them money in the campaign trail. So I'm going to use 3 of these to both suffice at least 2 protests and put laws in. So let's say that president selected cards that got rid of the 2 protests, and they put in this law which says food businesses have -2 income. Now, if in subsequent rounds, the president can actually revoke one of the laws that's already there, and that's part of running for president. Then we move to Capitol Hill. That president is going to get one of these executive privilege cards, and these are typically pretty powerful cards. For example, the cult of personality. As soon as another player is getting ready to pick a consumer card and have other people make money, this player can force a revealed consumer card of your choice to be played instead. Very powerful. And then we go up to Wall Street where each player is going to draw 1 card, and from all the cards in their hand that they haven't played yet, they'll start 1 business. We'll go around one more time. The new president will become, and then we'll get to 1 more chance to start, and then 1 more chance to consume. So businesses are going to consume things for 3 total rounds throughout the game, and whoever has the most money at the end is the winner. All right, there is Corporate America, the Gilded Edition. Now, I've reviewed this a long time ago, early in my review career, the original version of this, and I loved it. And this version is even better. This game, let's start with the easies. This game has a fun theme. It's really fun making those businesses, trying to influence people to get them to go, make money off them, and then you got laws, and you got the presidency. It's just fun. I love historical sort of realistic themes, and this definitely hits the mark with that. The game has simple mechanics. It really does. I mean, most of the time you're creating a business by spending some money, and then you're influencing people with negotiations to try to kind of get that done and get that consumed, right? And then it's very easy. So I like that the game doesn't have a lot of bloat around it. It's pretty streamlined, and I like that about this. The business names, as I showed you in the overview, they're funny. I like that this new version has icons on there, the logos of the business, funny taglines. The businesses is a really fun part of this, trying to get synergies, things like that. But overall, it's just fun to read them and see what they do and laugh at the taglines. And I also like how the very powerful businesses can suffer from certain laws. As I showed you there, that one about the labor laws. Well, if you know, yeah, it's really powerful, but it's more likely for negative things to happen to businesses like that. And I also like how you're sort of weighing in whether, hey, should I go with a very wide variety so I'll be sort of working with everybody throughout the game, or do I really want to synergize on specific ones, like that one finance one that I was showing you, where you could really synergize and make a lot of extra money, but everyone's going to be working really hard to make sure that doesn't happen. I like the laws and the protests. Those are always fun, you know. Hey, consumers' cards are coming up, and oh, there's a protest. Okay, well, when the president comes, they're going to have to talk about what they're going to do. They've got to suffice at least two of the protests, and then the laws, where it's like, okay, once the president gets in, 2 new laws are flipped up, so they might be very much enticed to go for something else. And I think that's really interesting. They might not be able to keep their promises because one of those 2 laws is very good, or they say that they were going to do something and then they don't, just like real life. It's just really fun. Now, this game hinges on negotiation, and it does a very good job. It's pretty open, but you know what you're negotiating for most of the time. It's, hey, how much can I pay you to flip the card or not flip the card? And you're working together. It's simple. So it's pretty boxed in. I mean, it's not like free and floating. There's only a few things you're trying to do, is get cards played or not, and you're just kind of trying to, you could, say I'm going to work with you later as well, but a lot of it's like the here and the now, and I like that aspect of it. Now, the Gilded Edition definitely is a huge step up because, again, as I mentioned, the icons on the businesses, they also streamlined the game quite a bit. So they took out an entire round. This game used to be, for us, between 2 hours and 15 to 2 hours and 30 minutes. Now, this new version, the box says 60 minutes, and we consistently hit about 90 minutes on this, which is definitely a lot faster than before. It's, probably 45 minutes to an hour shorter than it used to be, but it definitely doesn't hit the 60-minute mark. But the 90 minutes does mean it's going to come out a lot more often than it used to, because we all loved the game, but we just felt it was so long that it just didn't come out nearly as much. Now, it's 90 minutes. I would have loved to get this game down to 60 minutes, but we just have so much fun negotiating. Maybe we go longer than most groups, but I still have a hard time seeing you get this completely played in 60 minutes when you're constantly trying to negotiate for these different things. But it is a lot faster and streamlined than the old version. I like that. I like that they added new president powers. Some of them are even more powerful than before, and so I like that they took some of the ones that weren't that great out. Now, anything negative? Yes, as I mentioned, it's still a little bit longer than I would like. And also, but again, it's not going to stop me from playing it a lot because it's definitely shorter than we're used to. So 90 minutes, I think that's a good length for this anyway. I prefer 60, but 90 is fine. And finally, of those president powers, even though they're changed and some are more powerful, I still feel like some of them are very powerful, and there's still a few in there that aren't that great, that have to do with campaign contributions, and I just don't think they're as good. I would have just rather have seen all of them being sort of overpowered, so that if you're getting a president power, it's super powerful. Now it's like, yes, maybe half of them are like overpowered and the other half of them are like, okay. So I would have liked them to either have made them all super powerful, or when you get to be president, you draw 2 of them and keep 1. So it would make it a little bit more powerful. But overall, I really love this game. I still love it. It's one of those ones where we hadn't played this in a while. My group got together that had played it in the past. We played this new version, and everyone was just loving it. Everyone was like, wow, why doesn't this come out more often? We love this game. We should bring it out more now that it's shorter. So overall, I love this. I'm keeping it in the gaming library, so it's getting an official saxophone serenade from me. And this has been the Game Boy Geek, helping you find and enjoy the next board game you'll love.
This video was sponsored by Miniature Market's Review Corner. The Review Corner features podcasts, video, and written game reviews by gamers for gamers. Miniature Market, the online gaming superstore. Thousands of board games, discounted prices. Check them out at miniaturemarket.com.